The daily Ein Yaakov for today, in tractate Baba Metzia, the title is The Banquet of King Solomon. We learned in the Mishnah, it once happened that Rabbi Yochanan ben Matoya said to his son, "Go out and hire workers." He went and agreed to supply them with meals. When he came back, his father told him, even if you prepare for them meals as the banquets of King Solomon in his heyday, meaning you prepare a really festive meal, you have not given them enough food, for they are the children of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So anything that you will do will not be sufficient now that you promised them to have a meal. The Gemara asks, are we implying that the meals of Avraham, Isaac, and Yaakov were better than those of King Solomon? But it says Solomon's provisions for one day was 30 kor of fine flour, 60 kor of flour, 10 fattened oxen, 20 oxen from the pasture, and 100 sheep and goats, beside gazelle, deer, yachmu, and fattened fowl. That's written in the book of Kings, chapter 5, 2, and 3. And Gurion ben Estion said in the name of Rav, the fine flour and the flour were used just for the cook's dough, loaves of dough that were placed in the pots to absorb the vapor and foam. Rabbi Yitzchak said all of this was used just to make the pudding. Rabbi Yitzchak said further, Solomon had 1,000 wives, and each one of them made this entire meal in her home every single night. Why? Because each one thought that perhaps Solomon would come and dine with her that day. But concerning Avraham, it says, when he welcomed the 3 wayfarers, the 3 guests, Avraham ran to the cattle and chose a tender choice calf, which is recorded in the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 7. And Rabbi Yehuda, in the name of Rav, commented, a calf means tender. 2, choice. A calf means 1. Tender, 2. And choice, 3. So 3 calves for 3 people is very generous, but it does not even come close to the quantities of food used for Solomon's pudding. So the Gemara answers, in the case of Avraham, there were 3 animals for 3 people, whereas the food prepared for Solomon's banquet was for all Israel and Judah. And it says Judah and Israel were numerous like the sand that is by the sea. First book of Kings, chapter 4, verse 20. So now we understand the statement that since they are the children of Avraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, a banquet like Solomon's would not be sufficient. The Gemara asks, what is meant by fattened fowl? Rav said they would force feed the fowl. Shmuel said they were naturally fat. And Rabbi Yochanan said they would bring an ox from the pasture that had never done any labor, and a hen that had never hatched. Rabbi Yochanan said the best of cattle is an ox, and the best of fowl is a chicken. Amema said, what type of chicken? A fat black hen that is always around the winepress and feeds on the pits, and that is so fat that it cannot step over a stick. Bruchim to you.